Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Hey everyone, we're back with a potential big update for the next Formula One season. Before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily videos covering the best of the F1 world. If you appreciate straight-to-the-point content like this, don't forget to leave a like to support our work. If you've been following the channel, you probably already know that the American brand Cadillac has been preparing to join the Formula One grid as the 11th team in 2026. This entry is backed by General Motors, a giant in the automotive industry, and is closely linked to Andretti Global, which has long sought a place in Formula One. However, due to the politics of the sport, the Andretti name is not officially attached to the project, as the team is branded separately to satisfy Liberty Media, the commercial rights holder of F1. Behind the scenes, however, much of Andretti's infrastructure and personnel are involved in Cadillac's F1 effort. Despite all these preparations, things have been quiet for some time, with no official confirmation on whether this new team will actually make it onto the grid. While there has been plenty of speculation, F1 and the FIA have not yet made a definitive announcement, leaving fans and insiders wondering about Cadillac's future in the sport. However, it looks like that wait might be coming to an end. Today, the FIA made a cryptic post on its social media accounts, asking a simple question: how many cars can you count? Accompanying this post was a photo of an F1 race featuring 22 cars, instead of the usual 20-car grid. Adding further intrigue, the hashtag #F126 was included, along with a pair of watching eyes emojis, teasing fans and fueling speculation that an official announcement about Cadillac's entry is imminent. This subtle but deliberate hint suggests that we may soon receive confirmation that 2 more cars will be added to the grid. After all, time is running out, and any new team must begin preparing for the upcoming season. Delaying this decision much longer could significantly impact Cadillac's debut, making their transition into Formula One even more difficult. With such a massive project on the line, the FIA and Formula One need to make their position clear soon. If Cadillac is indeed joining the grid, they must start testing, hiring personnel, developing their car, and integrating with the sport's logistics as soon as possible. A late confirmation could put them at a severe disadvantage in their rookie season. So now, the big question remains: are you excited about Cadillac becoming the 11th team on the grid? Do you think adding 2 more cars will be a positive step for Formula One? Or do you believe the current 20-car grid is the ideal format? Share your thoughts. We have a major update regarding the Formula One market, and it could have serious implications for one of the sport's biggest technical moves. Before diving into the details, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest F1 updates. And if you enjoy this kind of straight-to-the-point news, don't forget to leave a like to support our work. A few days ago, we reported that Ferrari was attempting to block the early departure of Enrico Cardile, who has already signed a contract with Aston Martin and is expected to join the team later this year. At first, the situation seemed straightforward. Cardile's contract reportedly included a mandatory 12-month gardening leave, meaning he would have to stay away from F1 operations before joining his new team. Ferrari had even taken legal action to ensure that Aston Martin respected this clause. Initially, this move raised some questions, since if the clause was legally binding, why would Ferrari need to go to court to enforce it? However, new details have now emerged, revealing that the situation is far more complex than it first appeared. According to recent reports, Ferrari's legal action was not just about enforcing the gardening leave. It was actually in response to suspicions that Cardile had already been sharing confidential Ferrari information with Aston Martin. If true, this would represent a serious breach of contract, as the gardening leave is meant to prevent exactly this kind of situation. The accusations suggest that Aston Martin may have gained access to Ferrari's latest technical knowledge, which could give them an unfair competitive advantage. Since Cardile is a key figure in Ferrari's aerodynamic department, any information he shared could be highly valuable, especially as teams begin preparing for the major regulation changes coming in 2026. At this stage, it remains unclear whether Cardile will face penalties for this alleged misconduct or if this will impact his official start date at Aston Martin. As things stand, he is still expected to begin working with the team in July 2025, once his gardening leave officially ends. Until then, he is prohibited from having any direct involvement with Aston Martin's technical developments or sharing any proprietary knowledge from his time at Ferrari. While there is no official verdict yet, this case could set an important precedent for future high-profile personnel moves in Formula One. If it is proven that Cardile shared confidential Ferrari data before his contract allowed, should he face consequences for it? Could Ferrari demand further legal action, or will this dispute be settled behind closed doors? We'll continue to monitor the situation closely, as more updates are expected in the coming weeks. But now, we want to hear from you. If it turns out that Cardile did, in fact, pass on sensitive Ferrari information to Aston Martin during his gardening leave, do you think he should be punished? Let us know your thoughts. After preseason testing, which team and driver do you believe will dominate the 2025 Formula One season? With McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull all showing remarkably close performance levels, this season is shaping up to be one of the most competitive in recent history. Unlike previous years, there is no clear frontrunner, making the first few races even more crucial in determining which team has the upper hand. Among those weighing in on the season's early outlook is none other than defending world champion Max Verstappen. The Dutch driver shared his initial thoughts on Red Bull's preseason performance, and his assessment was surprisingly cautious. While he acknowledged that there were promising moments with Red Bull's new car, he made it clear that the team still has a lot of work to do before they can confidently fight at the front. Verstappen's words hint at a significant shift from Red Bull's dominance in recent years. For the past few seasons, the team entered each new year as the undisputed favorite, often boasting a clear performance advantage over the competition. However, after testing, it appears that gap has closed, and perhaps even reversed. With the first race of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, just days away, Verstappen acknowledged that predicting the real performance order remains difficult. Testing times can be misleading, as teams run different fuel loads, test various setups, and hide their true pace. However, one thing is certain from Red Bull's perspective. Right now, we don't have the fastest car. This statement marks a dramatic change from previous years, when Red Bull typically started the season with a clear competitive edge. Now, with McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes all making significant strides, the battle for supremacy is far less predictable. Verstappen's concerns are not without reason. McLaren's MCL39 has impressed with exceptional tire management and long-run consistency. Ferrari has addressed some of its key weaknesses from last year, and Mercedes appears to have found a more stable aerodynamic concept after struggling with its car philosophy in recent seasons. If Red Bull wants to stay on top, they will need to accelerate their in-season development to keep up with the improvements from rival teams. This season could mark a turning point in the sport's competitive landscape. If Red Bull is truly on the back foot, we could see a multi-team title fight, something Formula One fans have been waiting for since the turbo-hybrid era began in 2014. The key challenge for Red Bull now lies in extracting maximum potential from their car, while also introducing a steady stream of upgrades. While testing results do not always translate directly to race weekends, they do provide valuable insights into where each team stands. If Red Bull struggles in the opening rounds, their entire season strategy may have to be adjusted to stay in the championship hunt. While preseason testing is never a definitive indicator, the early signs suggest that the 2025 championship fight could be the closest we've seen in years. Verstappen's measured response suggests that he and Red Bull are aware of the rising competition and are preparing for what could be the most intense season of his career so far. So, now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Verstappen is right to be concerned? Will Red Bull find a way to reassert their dominance? Or is 2025 the year where another team finally dethrones the reigning champions? And more importantly, which team and driver do you believe will emerge as the strongest contenders this season? Let us know your thoughts.